Weatherman's them. Man in a big green hat. I'm here at Sellars Farm State Archaeological Area in north central Tennessee. It's the site of one of the best preserved villages in the southeast from the Mississippian period. And there should be several mounds and things, some interesting rock features, formations to see, and a little walk along Spring Creek. So let's go see what we can find. This is the open field at the Sellars Farm. A lot of the mounds, from what I've seen and what I know of, are kind of nestled back into that row of trees. So hopefully once we're around the other side of things, we'll be able to see them a bit. For now we're into the woods a bit. Beautiful dense deciduous forest here. Easy gravel trail. It's about a mile of a loop. Kind of has the feelings of an old farm road, you know. Lots and lots of this white leaf cup in bloom. I love how tall they get. Other than unusual, but yeah, an unexpected sight here, honestly. Welcome, it says. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Back out into the open here. I was mistaken what I said earlier about the mounds along that tree line. This is the actual farm itself. You can see some thunderstorms building in the distance there. We'll get done before those get here. Briefly went back into another little wooded section here. Could almost catch a glimpse of up Spring Creek. Maybe I can get close enough over here and you'll see all the water in the creek itself. It's a nice creek. Lots of poison ivy through here though. Here's a little social path down to the creek itself. Huge log jam. Nice. Lots of little marine fossils in the rocks along the edge here. I can see the one large mound over there, but I kind of wish there were little informational markers here along the way. But it kind of gets lost in all the thick vegetation here as to what the layout actually was. And the butterflies are just kind of dancing. In the middle of all this, I could see some purple or something. There's a huge patch of milkweed just now coming into bloom. That's nice. So maybe there's a series of interconnecting loops here. The mound is what I have my interest in, so that's the way we're gonna go for now. It turns out there are markers. Number 7 corresponds to a number on a map that I saw back at the main thing that didn't really seem like a map. But this area, in this area of the palisade, consists of about 100 homes, each about 15 by 25 feet, with thatch roofs on them. and they sat just to the side of the huge platform mound here. So many of the sites that I've visited over the years of Native American mound sites have taken it upon themselves to clear the trees and the vegetation or whatnot that's going to reclaim the mounds. This is one of the few that I've found left in its natural state. I heard a weird noise and got the sense I was being watched, and took about 5 steps forward, and a huge doe bounded out of the woods on the left, crossed the trail, and disappeared into the woods on the right. He's back close to where the houses were, numbered 8, which talks about the creek and how Spring Creek borders this side on 3 sides, but it really seems at an odd location. We'll walk further down and get to the woods. You can see the debris line from where Spring Creek floods. Much easier way to access the creek here. And they do know that they use this as a for the fence purposes. You know, on the other side of the creek, and you see the rock bluff in the video here. There's a rock bluff right there in the bend of this creek. They also fished and ate freshwater mussels, and then used the shells as kind of a binding agent in pottery. Beautiful area. Not quite ready to eat, but they will be soon. Such a tasty treat in summer. And we're taking a little social trail through deeper than I'd like weeds. I wanted to get a glance at this. Check out the cool rock boulders embedded into the side over here. Awesome little bluff area. Down to the left a bit. Little overhangs. Quiet, easy going creek. Just ambling along. You can see why this would be such a good area. To look for food. All the little mussel shells. This ground's just covered with them. I like this little stretch. We're walking right alongside Spring Creek. I can still see some of the boulders and things out over there. But you have this huge arching tree canopy. I almost wonder if it would be better to hike this in wintertime, because I know there was an earthen wall that was built around almost the majority of the site itself, and there's so much vegetation you can't make it out. It's not an earthen wall, but here is a stacked rock wall. That kind of took me by surprise. Just a few old beech trees around here, and I looked for old glyphs on them, but I've come up empty-handed. I don't know how far this extends, but I'll follow this along. There's old sections of boardwalk in this area here. and opposite a little stream leading to Spring Creek. Well, come back up to the split now, where I hung a left and went to the large mound. I'm going to go back that way and go to the other side of the trails now. It's a little middle trail here. Like so for Queen Anne's lace, daisy fleabane. I forget what all else I spotted. Thistle and red clover and coreopsis and black-eyed Susans. Just very rich with wildflowers in this little area in front of the large mound. Again, the number one of the numbers 4 that makes no sense. This speaks of the earthen walls that surrounded it, and we're out here in the middle of the palisade. Taking a little side trail down, spotted another marker, and it's the same kind of situation. But I'm ending up back up here at the large mound, and maybe that's how it needs to be. Maybe that's how I should end the video. It hasn't been overly informative, I don't suppose, but it gives you a small walk back in time and a taste of the history that was here. Some of it you just may have to use your imagination for, because there's just no evidence of these things. These old villages and old places. But it's best they not be forgotten. Thanks for coming along on this little adventure, folks. Hope you enjoyed at least seeing this mound and some of the views of Spring Creek and the wildflowers. So until next time, keep exploring and stay wild.